Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
As agencies look for ways to operate faster and more efficiently, the Army's medical logistics community is embracing telemaintenance. It's a bit like telemedicine, except for medical equipment. That's meant the most experienced medical logisticians can now lend their expertise from a distance in ways that let equipment get fixed in hours instead of days. Wes Ladley is the chief of Army Medical Logistics Command's Maintenance Support Office. He talked about the improvements with Federal News Network's Jared Serbu.
Lots of times the over-the-horizon support was over the phone. Now we have cameras, everybody has devices where video calling is there, but more importantly, the transition into the Army sustainment is really helped with the actual maintenance databases. And now that we're inside the same system as the soldiers, we can look inside the system, we can review the equipment histories, already see what the technician's notes are before, we even establish a phone call with the soldier or a video call with the soldier to discuss what's going on. What generally will happen is they'll reach out to the Maintenance Operations Center here at M3D. We'll take a look at what their request is. And from there, we can just go inside GCSS Army, go inside the databases, look at all the maintenance histories, read all the technician notes and say, hey, this is possibly a candidate for a telemaintenance, or we may have to send someone on site. In the past, we were never really able to do that. There was a different maintenance database used in theaters versus what we have now. And that just allows us to almost do the troubleshooting before we engage with the customer. We can perform the troubleshooting and know exactly where we need to be. So, it generally happens very quickly. So as soon as that's done, we can reach out to the customer and start establishing those communications. And then the way we do our business process with the maintenance database, we're able to they can evacuate the work order over to us, and then our technicians can go in and add their notes. And there's really a nice collaboration between the operating unit on the ground and the technician here in any one of our MMODs, which is Medical Maintenance Operations Division. They're highly skilled, and we can just have that system communication as well as face-to-face communication, which is way more than, say, we were doing 8-9 years ago.
Just so I'm tracking what that systems integration kind of looks like, is that all in GCSS Army now, that separate maintenance database that you were talking about? Are those no longer separate? How does that work?
So we converted the theater over probably in 2018 to GCSS Army, and then we established the business processes. Prior to that, they were in demos. For a time, there was SAMSI. There's been many different maintenance databases that have been used throughout the global. And for now, we're finally, for the most part, all inside GCSS Army. So now it's all in the same system. And then those transactions can happen back and forth so much easier. Having that equipment history, knowing exactly what's been going on with that serial number and some of the actions that were performed prior would certainly help with the troubleshooting and just the background. Because it's almost like every device has their own history or personality, and certain things happen repeatedly, you'll find, through the years working on the same devices. So lots of times it's something that you can go and say, hey, 3 years ago, this technician worked on this device. This was the error code. And then you can almost go right back to that and start eliminating things right away.
Got it. So you can see one particular device's like life history or story kind of all in one place, sort of like an electronic medical record, but for a device.
Exactly.
So talk me through a bit what this either has meant so far or what you think it's going to mean for readiness.
So far, I think it's been great, because now that we're keeping everything inside the same maintenance databases, it's really the ability to show their requirement and how much labor is being performed in support of this. It really shows the cost savings, but it's the ability to fix devices far forward. Anytime a medical device or any equipment leaves a theater, it's a loss of a capability. And, the longer it costs for shipping, to send a technician forward, to ship parts, overnight to get to a theater so they can be installed and get the capability up and running, is lost downtime to readiness. It's a risk to patients. It's really, it's all about getting the maintenance right there at the point of need. And for so long, we weren't able to do that. It was, overnight phone calls or email exchanges, to be able to have this type of system now, it's almost putting you there with the soldier and being able to mentor them and train them and help them. And obviously fix the equipment as soon as possible. It has really been a game changer so far.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to ask this question because I don't know exactly how you track things. But are you able to share with our listeners what it's meant in terms of, let's say, how much time an average medical device is down in need of repair then compared to now? Any sort of those facts and figures that you guys have tracked to see what kind of difference this is making?
Yeah, we have some figures. We're usually, if we had to send a team forward, it could be within 72 hours they arrive, and then the maintenance is performed, and that may be another, and then they have to travel back. So on average, we're looking at probably 6 to 7 days, which could be a lot if it's a CT unit. That being said, if it's something that can be done quickly, it could be, 8 hours if we're doing a telemaintenance action. And I think just having the ability to view what's going on with the soldiers and get that rapid turnaround, which, if it's a CT unit, there might be a hospital that only has one. So if that is down longer than, in any significant amount of time, that's a real concern for commanders on the ground, as we, that's a capability that they're just not going to have. So if we can improve that readiness time from, 7 days down to 8 hours, I think that's significant. And not only would it help that, is we found that we've been using it just to diagnose the problem. So for repairs that we do need to send someone on site, we can have a telemaintenance call before they even go out. So we know exactly what parts we need to bring on hand, exactly where it's going to go, and then develop a plan of action before we even get there. So even the repair goes faster, and making sure that, we arrive, we think it's one thing, it might be another. Well, lots of times reading the equipment history, you may know that if I replace this part, I'm probably also going to have to replace this part. And some of that stuff can be viewed and through the equipment history, or just viewed on the video calls and talking with soldiers. So it's really been a real lifesaver in the preparation for going on these on-site missions as well.
That's Wes Ladley, the Chief of Army Medical Logistics Command's Maintenance Support Office. You can hear his full discussion with Federal News Network's Jared Serbu at federalnewsnetwork.com.